Well, the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank is certainly dominating the world news right now. And my name is Mike Koch. I'm with Terra Firma Realty. This is Joe Long with Guild Mortgage. We wanted to come to you today to talk a little bit about how the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and what the government may or may not do is going to impact you as a consumer that may be looking to buy or sell real estate. So Joe, give us a little bit of a synopsis of what's happened with Silicon Valley Bank and why it collapsed.
So Silicon Valley Bank is a bank that focuses largely on lending to, you guessed it, Silicon Valley. And because their business practice is a little bit unique, they're a bank that is really, really rich in deposits and does a little bit of a different kind of lending. And the short of what happened with this bank is they had a lot of exposure long, meaning they owned a lot of long-term securities where they were receiving interest over a long period of time, and their borrowing costs rose very rapidly. And so their cost of doing business rose a lot faster than their ability to keep up with it. And that made them insolvent very quick. And when a bank becomes insolvent, there is a process in place where the government steps in and takes control of that bank, stabilizes it so that the deposits can be guaranteed, and then they figure out the best course of action, which usually involves finding another bank that's more solvent to take over that bank.
All right, so Joe, with the next couple of weeks that lie ahead, or even the next couple of months, how do you see this collapse affecting the economy, inflation, and what used to be the biggest talk of the market was interest rates?
Yeah, so where this could have an impact is it could impact the stock market, right? So bank stocks already kind of suffered a little bit on Monday as a result of what happened on Friday. Schwab was the biggest one that you saw sell off. And what that does is it causes a general decline in the stock market. And you can see that have some ancillary effects, right? So you could see people panic a little bit. And what that does is causes what's called a flight to safety, okay? Where people want to put their money in safer assets, and typically that means bonds. And so what could happen is if this continues to negatively impact the stock market, in other words, if it doesn't get cleared up quickly, it will cause some deflationary pressure. And what's interesting about that is recently all we've been hearing about is inflationary pressure. So what happened after this collapse on Friday and into Monday was we saw a rally in the bond market that did put interest rates down in the short term. So will that hold? Who knows? Today they've already given back some of those gains. I think what we're going to see as in the weeks and months to come, this will be something that is handled well. I don't think it's going to continue landsliding. And I think the focus on what happens from an interest rate standpoint will go back to what happens with long-term inflation.
Great. Well, if you have any more questions about this or about real estate in general or about financing, feel free to reach out to Joe or myself by simply replying to this video.